perspective and the people he'd spoken to. But in this case, as you say, it talked about this very tense meeting between Harry and his brother and Meghan and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, in which allegedly Meghan told William to get his finger out of her face, which you have to imagine was a very uncomfortable in-law conversation. And also really just speaks to the tension at the time. We know how it all ended. They left the royal family, but again, it just really highlights how awkward and uncomfortable things were getting in that lead up. It also talks a lot about, Tom Ballard writes a lot about Harry in that era. And he says that Camilla at the time said that she felt he'd been brainwashed by Meghan. This has been a real narrative that was formed around that time of Megxit, where people that were close to Harry had told a number of media outlets they felt he'd changed. This is something that Tom Ballard talks about here. And it, of course, as we know, Harry did leave the royal family, but he then later spoke about that era and said he'd always been feeling this tension and discomfort and had been looking for what his role in his life was going to be, and he was uncomfortable in the spare role. So I guess it depends who you're speaking to, but certainly in this case.
Picture this: the gilded halls of Kensington Palace, tea sets that cost more than my first car, and attention so thick you couldn't cut it with Excalibur itself. We've all had those awkward family dinners where someone mentions politics and the air suddenly turns to ice. But when your family firm is the British monarchy, a tense meeting isn't just a disagreement, it's a geopolitical event. Reports are swirling that Meghan Markle didn't just hold her ground, she allegedly snapped at the future king, Prince William, in a showdown that has the palace walls still vibrating. It's the confrontation we've all been whispering about, and today, we're peeling back the velvet curtain to see what really went down when the Duchess met the Duke in a royal rumble for the ages. Quick favor, if you're loving this deep dive, hit that subscribe button. Over 92% of viewers haven't yet, and honestly, we miss you. It's free, takes a second, and means the world to us. Done? Brilliant. Now, back to the show.
That the royal family were perhaps not overly enamored by Meghan at that time, and things really did just reach breaking point and were very uncomfortable behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, that's so clear, isn't it? It's like everything just blew up very, very quickly. And I'll point out, Bronte, because the Ginger and the Whinger, as I like to call them, they've released a statement in response to this. And it seems that this book's hit a raw nerve. A representative for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex said, quote, "Mr. Bauer's commentary has long crossed the line from criticism into fixation. He has made a career out of constructing ever more elaborate theories about people he does not know and has never met. Those interested in facts will look elsewhere. Those seeking deranged conspiracy and melodrama know exactly where to find him." Whoa, Bronte, they sound panicked to me. What do you make of that response?
Well, there's some fighting words. You're absolutely right. I suppose you can't really blame them for coming out swinging at this point. They are very spicy terms, as you mentioned in this book. But at the same time, it's come at an unbelievably critical juncture for Harry and Meghan. Now, if you look at the lay of the land, they've just returned from this, I suppose, quasi-royal tour of Jordan. They're now spruiking this big trip to Australia, which is really
brotherly advice that landed with the grace of a lead balloon. Imagine someone telling you how to live your life while they're wearing a literal cape. It's a bit much, isn't it? Meghan, a woman who built her own brand and career long before the tiaras came into play, wasn't looking for a mentor, she was looking for a peer. When the advice turned into what felt like a lecture on how things are done here, the Duchess allegedly decided she had heard quite enough. Now, let's pivot to the mechanics of the snap itself. We aren't talking about a playground shouting match. This is high-stakes drama where a raised eyebrow counts as a declaration of war. According to those close to the situation, Meghan's response was sharp, direct, and left the room in a stunned silence. It's the kind of moment where even the portraits on the wall look uncomfortable. She reportedly challenged the hierarchy that William takes for granted, pointing out that her voice was just as valid as his, regardless of who is next in line for the big chair. This brings us to a fascinating crossroads. Is this a case of a difficult outsider, or a necessary challenge to an outdated system? Using an analogy, it's like a startup CEO walking into a boardroom of a 200-year-old bank. One side sees innovation, the other sees a complete lack of respect for the foundation. If you've ever tried to tell your grandmother that her secret recipe needs more salt, you've felt a fraction of the energy that was likely in that room. Except, in this case, the grandmother is the British Empire and the salt is a radical
I suppose, intended at highlighting and platforming Meghan's lifestyle brand in Australia and globally. And the reality is, after just splitting with Netflix as their major partner for as ever, this is a really important time for her to push that business forward. And they are at this point where they're trying to look forward to what the next phase of their career is going to be, because a lot of their deals in the past have not landed where they wanted them to. We know that. I mean, the Netflix First Look deal has been sort of as spread as this as a good move for them both. But the reality is it is a climb down from what it was initially when they signed that a few years back. So when you look at this statement from their spokesperson,
relationship between William and Meghan hasn't just cooled, it's practically sub-zero. It serves as a reminder that in the world of the royals, words are the most dangerous weapons available. You can survive a scandal, you can survive a budget cut, but surviving a fundamental breakdown in communication? That's a much taller order. So, was it a snap of frustration or a calculated stand for independence? Perhaps it was a bit of both. In the grand theatre of the monarchy, every line is scrutinized, and every exit is dramatic. Meghan and William may never see eye to eye, but the sparks they created during that meeting have illuminated the cracks in the institution for the whole world to see. It's high stakes, it's messy, and it's undeniably fascinating. Thank you for watching Royal Fusion TV.